Hello, Hedy. How nice to be here together with you in this setting. You asked me to help you record a podcast series about your network marketing adventures. How come?
How come? Well, hi Petra. Thank you for doing this for me because by myself I would never have done this. And why a podcast? Well, I was encouraged mostly by my daughter. Mom, with all the stories you have, you should make a podcast or a video blog. You can make money with that. And I said, yeah, it's okay. And the trigger to do this was our first summit together. I liked the taste of that, and then I asked you, hey, can you help
Mm.
me making recordings? So, yeah, that's how it started. And it is exciting.
It
I
is.
still think it's exciting.
It is. It is frightening, exciting, right?
No, it is. The frightening part is already over
Mm.
after I did the Dutch version.
I get that. I get that. So, why the topic network marketing? What's so special about that for you?
For me, well, it is a big part of my life. I have been involved with network marketing even without realizing it was network marketing. We come to that later. I think it's about time for me in my life that I leave a legacy, that I can share my experiences, that I can share my insights, and that I can make it clear to the people what network marketing really is.
Yeah, you have a ton of knowledge about network marketing. I know that. You mentioned that you kind of stumbled into network marketing. It wasn't really like, oh, this is what I want to do in my life. Can you tell us a bit about that? Because you were very young, right?
Yes, I just came from high school, and my youth and my teenage time was in Suriname, and I came in the Netherlands. I had no scholarship, but I did a study, and one of my dear friends introduced me to the Amway concept. Amway stands for the American way. And the only thing that I got is, oh, I can buy products for a low price and I can sell it for a higher price and I keep the profit. I can reinvest the profit and I can also use the profit for my personal well being
Mm-hmm.
as I didn't have a scholarship. And I like sales. I've always been into this sales and negotiating thing ever since I was young. So sales, no problem for me. And for my friend, thank God, Hedy loves sales.
That would have helped him as well, I suppose.
I guess so. I
Mm.
guess so. And so the first few years, it was not even very long because I think it was about 1972, can be wrong, maybe 71, that there was a court case against Amway, the
Mm.
American way. You
In the Netherlands, you mean?
know, all over the world in
Oh,
America. It
okay.
was an American company.
Mm-mm.
It was founded by two Dutch guys,
Amazing.
Jay van Endel and Rick de Vos. And the concept at that time was there were questions about it.
It was too new, not known at all.
I think so,
Mm.
and it may even have reeked to what we now call Ponzi or pyramid. That process took 9 years.
Wow.
I remember. So in those 9 years, we could not buy low, sell high, and unless, of course, we still had products. But
Mm-hmm.
even after 9 years, you don't have that anymore. And then when they won the court case, in 9 years,
Mm-hmm.
companies that wanted to use the formula of network marketing or MLM were growing fast,
Mm.
like we say in Dutch, like mushrooms.
Yeah.
And but in the meantime, I became a stewardess. I started working for Martinair and later for KLM.
Can I go just a bit back just for a
Yes.
second? Because you said, well, we now know how you came into network marketing, but you are in network marketing for over 50 years now. So what kept you inside this formula? Why didn't you go to a regular company?
Why would I?
I don't know. You tell us.
No, well, the only regular company I ever have worked for is the airlines.
Mm-hmm.
The only real bosses I ever had were the airlines. I did something I wanted to do. And the nice part of it, they had sales there too,
Yeah.
because we sold on board the tax-free items. And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And so in all these years that I have been flying, I didn't think of network marketing. It was just, hey, you know what? We serve meals, we serve drinks, and we offer tax-free products. And most of my colleagues didn't want to do that. They didn't like sales.
A lot of
And
people don't like sales, right?
and I think, okay, let's clean up, build up the tax-free card, and there I go down the aisle in the smaller machines, and in the bigger machines, I took both aisles.
Mm.
And the nice thing about that is not, do you want cigarettes, do you want liquor, do you want perfume? No. Is there anything on this card that you would like to purchase now for a tax-free price? You hear the difference? You make contact with the passengers. So you look them in the eye, and well, those that were in the smoking section, they were fond of the cigarettes. And the nice thing of that is, we as cabin staff, we get a commission. Well,
Mm-hmm.
commission for me is the magic word. So the commission is a certain percentage, and after the flight, when the money is counted, that percentage is taken off and divided by the crew.
Mm-hmm.
KLM is different. You get it with your salary next month.
Yeah.
But the sales aspect, I like sales. I mean, I like selling myself even, because that's the most important thing. It's not about the cigarettes. It's not about the liquor. It's not about the product. It's about how you present yourself.
Self-esteem, self-worth.
Absolutely, but also how to make them buy what you have.
Yeah.
And in network marketing, that's the same thing. So I'm, thanks to my career with KLM, I came into Brazil. And there I met the man who later became our husband and is the father of my children. I emigrated to Brazil. And in that time, there was a period between dictatorship and democracy.
Yeah.
And I was in the
in the time between it, so it was
yeah,
very
yeah,
turmoil,
yeah,
very
yeah. And but also in Brazil, I got the opportunity to sell, but not through network marketing. To tell you the truth, I only realized what network marketing really was. It was in 93, 94. Before that, oh yeah, it's an MLM company, but
you were so focused on the sales, that was all
sales.
you saw.
Yeah. And I could not understand that there were people that hated sales. I could not understand.
There are lots of them.
My
I can tell you.
my model of the world was completely different. On the other hand, I had to do sales to survive.
Yeah.
Also. And in Brazil, they had a system that a consultant could buy products from a big company, and she had sales ladies to sell them for her.
In her team, yeah.
Yeah.
It does sound a bit.
Yeah, but it was first level.
Yeah.
It was not recruiting.
No.
And so I was able to buy the products with a discount, and I sold them with a regular price. And that's how I made extra money. And of course, in the beginning, you make your first investment, but later on, you use your profits for the to do the investment for the buying in. And unfortunately, on one hand, fortunately on the other hand, I had to leave Brazil. I was considered a refugee here. in the Netherlands. And it took me about 3 years, because I came in 1990. It took me about 3 years to realize what a network marketing company really was and how the payment structure could be beside the profits on the sales.
You mean the commissions?
The commissions from the company, because you recruit, and as
next that you're rewarded for sales, you're also rewarded for your recruitment.
Recruiting. And that's how I went into it. And then I went from one personal development training to another. That's how I also got to Tony Robbins, with whom I spent 10 years in his entourage, to help others, to serve others. And man, my first Tony Robbins live event, 80% were network marketeers. So there is something to learn there. And that's how I caught the virus.
Yeah, makes sense.
And another passion of me is I like to teach. I like to explain. I'm very known about being clear in my explanation. So yes,
you're also very known to know everything very thoroughly. You go through every plan until full detail, so you exactly know what's it about, and that's why you can explain it so well.
Normally, yes. So yes, and then I think in a later podcast we are going to talk about why some companies make it and why other companies
definitely
not.
Yeah.
So yes, I have my experience.
Yeah, because why did you never go, except for the KLM part, never really wanted to work for another company? That was really just because the network marketing with the commissions, but also the personal development was so close to your heart?
Absolutely, but you know what? Why would I work for a boss that would decide how much I was worth? I prefer to decide for myself what I'm worth.
Yeah.
If I want to work 60 hours, you've known me in the time that I've taken 60 hours in a week making good money, or 10 hours in a week making less good money. I mean, still making money, because sales never go out of my system.
No.
But yes, working for a boss is not really good for me. I've always had my own business. I've always done my own things. I've always decided, and even in Brazil, I had an atelier where I made children's clothes, and I had 5 sales ladies, and because the concept what I've learned from the other consulent, and I gave them credit for 30 days. So I didn't want to ask them an upfront investment. The population in Brazil is not that fortunate. I don't want to say that rich, because they're rich in other things, but financially not that fortunate. And I had a good business. I had a good working ethic. I had, well, practically everything I wanted, until the government changed so much, and they confiscated everything that I had.
Yeah.
And after 20 years of building up, no, I had to go. I had to leave Brazil.
Yeah.
And my first option was with my husband to the States, and my second option was without my husband to the Netherlands. My husband did not want to go to the States, not under those circumstances, and hated the Netherlands. So I came back with my 2 kids. And so far I have never been back in Brazil anymore. And yes, and then the network marketing virus caught me. And
you've done multiple network marketing companies, right?
Yes.
Because that's also what I wrote in my book, indeed. For every service you have, every product you have in a regular company, you also have a network formula doing the same or selling the same.
Yes, you're right. You're right. You just have to, with network marketing, you are recruited, if you want to come into a company. And it is very important who recruits you.
We're going to talk about that in a later
Yes,
series of this.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hold that thought.
So, yes. And, well, like I said, I love teaching, I love training, I love presenting. And
You're
as
just a stage animal.
cheers on that.
I've seen you on stages. I can tell.
I think that's where I belong.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. So, as you explained, you want to leave your legacy. So, what does your legacy all entail?
You know, a lot of people have a misunderstanding about the network marketing concept. Either through their own experience or through experience of hearsay. Oh yeah, my uncle, he started this MLM thing and he ended up with a garage full of products. Yeah, there was a time that was possible, but not now anymore, because juridically, at least in the Netherlands, things have changed. There is a complete new legal department when it comes to network marketing. So nowadays you buy what you need for the month, what you think you can sell in that month before you buy again. And actually, I'm so proud when I see young people daring to start with network marketing. It touches me, and they call me grandma.
Oh, you are.
I am, but I mean, you don't even know me.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like to encourage them to walk that way, even if in the end it doesn't work out for them, but to kill their curiosity by entering the network marketing business.
Yeah.
No matter which company.
And I think one of the most important things you love about it as well, at least that's what I found out when I first started in network marketing, started to work, well, do my own business. The thing is, everything that's not going the way you want it to, you can only lead it back to you. You are responsible. There's no one else to blame. If you work for a company, you can say my boss or my manager or whatever. But for your own company, it's you. So if things don't work out, you need to work on you.
Yeah.
So that personal development part is really what
the most important part.
Yeah, and we love it
And
so
a
much.
lot of people don't realize that. They think they come in believing the stories of the mansions and the expensive cars and the quick money.
And the trips to the... Go ahead. Sorry.
I feel sorry for them, but you know, it's not always like that.
It's a real business, and you need to understand
and you
how it
need to
works.
dedicate your time and your effort into learning. Some people need to learn how to sell a product. Other people need to learn how to recruit someone else or how to start a conversation. Yeah. Well, we have more podcasts to go.
Definitely, definitely, indeed.
I'm starting to like the taste.
Well, for now, I really want to thank you so much for doing this, because I truly believe as well that this is so important, especially with the helping other people, getting the financial benefit out of it because you help others, and the personal development, which is underneath it, which we both love so dearly. So thank you so much for this episode. For the next episodes, we're going to talk about more about Hedy mentioned multi-level marketing, network marketing, Ponzi's, pyramids. So we're going to talk a bit more about what's the difference, how come some companies are still there, some are not. So stay tuned and see you at the next episode. Bye all.
Bye.